Good morning, beautiful people. It is March the 28th, 2013 at 11:34 a.m. Oh man, it feels so good. I I've been watching what's going on as we watch the situation in Cyprus and the banking system unfold. And today there's all kinds of news coming out that the Canadian government is going to allow the fleecing of the bank accounts of Canadian citizens, and we're seeing this going on globally. And it's interesting to watch as this shift is coming down, and um, this is almost like the final wake up call to so much of humanity, and you can see the transition with so many persons as they're coming into their awakening, going through their geopolitical awakening, and then those going through their spiritual awakening. And it usually takes the prior, waking up to what's going on around the planet and around, what we're here for, what life is all about before you can even begin your spiritual awakening. And there's such a we're just beginning, even when we step into our mastery on the spiritual awakening. It's a long path to get back to source, but that's what it's all about. And it's about self-mastery. And many persons are commenting continuously on read this, look at that, things on the exterior. And anybody can be a teacher or a guide to help you understand what's going on, just like these videos that I do. But what I'm expressing in my videos really is my path of self-mastery. There's no one that can do my self-mastery for me. There's no others' self-mastery I can do for them. It's a private and individual journey, and the sequence of events, the initiations or expansion of the light, or whatever you want to call the process that we go through as we light up and start embodying that higher self and that higher being that we truly are. That process is basically the same in the sequence of events for each and every person. And that's why they call it initiations. And it's a step-by-step sequence, really, that unfolds, although each of our paths will be different as to how that unfolds or what awakens and activates us. But it's all a process of changing perceptions, clearing, and expansion. And it's wonderful, so very wonderful to see so many people going through the process right now. It is interesting that many persons think that they still need to tell me what's going on or what I should do and how I should be. And, these are the same things. Part of my initiations at the level that I'm on right now is to have a compassionate detachment for other individuals and things that they say that I allow into my field. As we are coming into the higher levels of light, you're very open and susceptible to what's going on. It's not like the ascended masters that have gone before us, where they step into a higher dimension where they don't have to deal with others who are still remaining in the low vibrations. This time, and this just happened in the past year, that this time of ascension that we're going through on Mother Earth right now, each and every person who is incarnate, each and every consciousness, all the animals, all the plants, all the elemental kingdom is coming through this process with us. The plants and the animals in the elemental kingdom are not really such a problem with the ascension. do it quite gracefully, and you can watch what's going on with them, and they are just absolutely uh, in their own states of bliss. I watch my chicken ladies well, last night I had a really interesting experience. They had crossed the road into the neighbor's yard. The neighbor was like, it's all fine with them. And I walked over to find them, and they were playing with the neighbor's cats. My chickens were playing with the cats. And in days past, I had picked them up one by one or two by two and brought them back over and put them into chicken jail in their coop and let them sit, and tried to think about, what's going on as I'm trying to send a vision to them saying, I don't want you crossing the street. But they've got their own mind and their own agenda. And anyway, yesterday, right as the sun was going down, I was talking to the neighbor across the street because he stepped out and saw the chickens and the cats together and having a good time, and they were curious of each other, and there wasn't a problem at all. And he was like, I just can't get over that. It's like, what's the old biblical saying? And the lions and sheep shall lay together, and that's kind of what's gone down. And so I told him I wanted to do an experiment, and that was to see if at dark they would find their way back. So I left them be. And right as the sun had gone down, right as they're getting ready for their roosting time, they came single file across the street, all the 6 remaining ones. And me and the neighbor were sitting on my fence talking as we watched it happen. And they filed one by one down the fence line, through the gate, went to their coop, ate, drank, and roosted. And I'd left the door open. I wasn't guiding them or anything. And they did exactly what I kept on hearing the message was from them that they would do. It's just I was not so trusting on it. And so I had to see it for my own experience. And right now, we're having to watch that with each and every person going through their ascension process on this planet. We're having to allow people to go through whatever remaining lessons they've got, their clearing of their karma and their magnetics or their perceptions, however you wish to view that, and they're stepping into their mastery. And we've got to get over this fear. As people are doing this, those of us who are open, let me backtrack again. Just a couple of years ago, there was still going to be those of us ascending and those persons who remained on 3D Earth as there had been in many other cycles. As of Venus transit last year, the messages were coming in from many of us all at the same time. And usually I receive my messages first, and then I'll hear confirmation from multiple sources that occurs all at the same time, who are getting similar messages, and they too are putting their messages out, which I use as a confirmation. Just like channeled messages, I don't follow them, I use them as confirmation. So Venus transit, after we left Mount Shasta in the Star Knowledge gathering last June, the messages coming in was that the whole Earth is ascending this time. There's not going to be a separation of the world on the exterior. And with that changed the whole ball game, because before then, many of us who were leaders and way showers were waking the individuals up to their ascension and mastery process, their geopolitical awakening that takes them into their ascension mastery process, their spiritual awakening and enlightenment. And all we were concerned about was those persons who were making the choice. And we had to get as many people that we could possibly awaken to move their consciousness from their brain, move their mind from their brain into their heart, and start learning to live from the heart, start learning to think from the heart rather than thinking with the 3D brain. And we use that brain in a different way from that point. And so the ascension process leading up, as we were going through our mastery process, our ascension, our initiations, our light expansion, we would relate things to people feeling that we had a deadline, and then we were going through this shift. And as of Venus transit last year, when we started receiving the messages that the whole world and everybody that's on planet, every person incarnate is going to go through this shift now, then that changed the whole ball game. But one of the situations that you find when you're living in your heart and you've activated your chakras, and you have taken down the walls, which allows that expansion, is you start feeling what's going on with other individuals. You start feeling their messages, their thoughts, their feelings, their anger or frustration or offensive actions or negative behavior. And you also feel the good. When two persons that are heart chakra activated come together, it's almost like two nuclear fuel rods, is how I used to describe it with the one who activated me. Whenever we would come together, then there was a vibration and excitement between us at the quantum level, and it was just magnificent. It was such intense bliss. I thought it was at that time just because of that individual who I was with, and now that I'm finding so many others, female who I'm attracted to and males who I love so, but I'm not bisexual or gay, as those of us who come together who are heart chakra activated, that same excitement on the quantum level occurs. And it's really interesting to note that, and to realize the energetic potential that we share when those of us who are activated come into communication with each other. But there's been several persons lately that have asked me why I'm concerned about what others think or feel. It's because I am very open to the energies. That was my last video on respect that I did. Being respectful of whatever situation you find yourself in and whoever you're communicating with. And better than to say something that's not right, it might be better just to not say anything at all when you're responding to something that someone else has posted, or their videos that they make, or whatever they're experiencing and putting out there in their own ascension mastery process. We're all going through this. Every single one of us are learning those lessons. You can duck and cover and try to stay away from everybody, but it's the other individuals out there. It's our relationships with the individuals out there, which is actually what gives us the learning lessons for our mastery experience. That's what life is all about, and we do it in 3D. But the masters that came before us, once they hit a certain point of chakra activation like that, boom, they were gone. They were off planet. Either they would drop body, or they like some of my heroes, created a vortex and then went through that whirlwind, and they disappeared in a whirlwind of light, or they stepped through a dimensional doorway. There was many ways how persons did this before, and this time we are taking Mother Earth and all of humanity with us. And those of us that are awake, aware, open, and going through our higher initiations, we feel all the energies. We feel the transmutation. We are the antennas that channel the lower vibrational energies. And it's not always so comfortable. And it's not always so clear. And we are doing things that the ones that came before us, and some of us that are coming back to teach Ascension Mastery this time, we didn't do it other times. And so this is a brand new ball game. And we are doing something that has never been done before in the history of this universe, and that's to go from the lowest vibrations very quickly up a couple of dimensions and not just take a partial of us that is ready for our ascension because we've done our spiritual work, but to take all of us. And that's what's so magnificent about what's going on right now. And so when that goes back to that last video, please have respect for everybody for what they're doing. Don't try to tell another what to do. Don't tell them how to be. When I speak 5D and from my heart, I'm not thinking about this video I'm making. It is a flow. And that's what 5 and 6D and higher is. It is not something that I think about or I'm planning out or that I'm trying to resolve in my brain before I sit down and do the video. It is a feeling that I need to sit down, I open up this program, and I allow the energies that I'm reading and the message that's coming through to flow. And I'm very open to that. And in the same way that that flows in and out, those vibrations and feelings and energies, higher and lower, from everybody else that's out there who is focusing on my messages or thinking about me, that comes through me also. Usually and I've spoken to another friend about this, usually I am such a lighthouse that I'm just absolutely beaming out there. And sometimes it becomes an issue with me in telepathy because I'm not necessarily focused on the receiving, I'm focused on the sending. And I allow any of the lower vibrations transmuted to come to the exterior of my field and through. I can read them through my chakras and through my energy body, light body, but I'm not open to that telecommunication to realize exactly who that individual is at all times. If I'm sending and broadcasting, it's not necessarily that I'm open to the receiving. There are special times when I do exactly that. But usually when I'm beam on, that's not how it works. But I do feel when I'm reading messages or communicating with others, that's when I can feel it very directly, and it's so very obvious what energies are coming through. And we're transmuting for everybody. And it's a process, and it can get emotional. And I don't care how high up there you go in your ascension mastery process, it's still emotional. That's just all there is to it. And the greatest thing is the joy. Be the joy. The joy is happiness in a moment by moment by moment by moment always state of being. And that's what comes when you activate your heart chakra or any other chakras. And you're living in that bliss. But just because you're in that bliss does not mean that you don't feel the lower vibrations or any not so nice energies that are sent in your direction. Anyway, man, it is such a beautiful day. We seem to have finished our winter and the spring here in Florida, and I'm back to short pants and what incredibly beautiful skies, and one jet with contrails, not chemtrails up there. Not a chemtrail in the sky. And man, it's just absolutely magnificent. I hope you guys are as deep in the bliss as I am. And I love you all. And guys, we're doing it. We are bringing Mother Earth and humanity through this portal from the 4D into the 5D, 6D, and higher. We're all doing it together. And just realize that we each have to go through our process. There is nothing that you can do to tell another. If you're in the higher dimensions, if you're in 5th or 6th dimension vibration, if you're truly in the heart, you wouldn't do that in the first place, because you're not going to mess up somebody else's learning lessons. Although if they ask you for advice, you would be right there. But you will state your opinions and your feelings, your beliefs, what you're reading from the energy field through videos like this or blogs or however you do it, radio shows or whatever. And that's what it's all about. But again, let's be respectful of everybody in their situation and what they're going through and their lessons and their experience here and now. We're getting there, and we're getting there so fast, it's just absolutely amazing. If persons realized what I've seen in my lifetime from growing up in Mississippi in the 1960s when the riots were going on at Ole Miss, and my mother and father were living in the dormitories there, or the civil rights actions were, the 3 civil rights workers were killed in a county that my own family populates. If anybody saw what the segregation was back then, and then what's occurred after harmonic convergence and opening the 1111 doorway, and the raising of the frequency to get to the vibration that we're at now, it's an absolute miracle. It absolutely is. And it has taken the various waves of volunteers that hold the various vibrations and hold the various they're all spiritual special operations specialists. and the various waves of us that have come through to make this change, it's taken us all. And so, to be a youngster like I feel myself as, but to be over 50 and have seen some of the very dark times that this world has to offer. It has been magnificent what we have done to make these changes. And what you are seeing now with the banking system, this is their last gasps. They've lost their power. They really have. Now they can create a lot of hurt, and they can create a lot of material misery for people, but that's part of the release that we all have to do to go through our process. Part of becoming a master is releasing all the material stuff, going with the flow. Anyway, it's all just perfect. It's all just fine. And everybody, I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, even if I delete some of your comments sometimes. I care for all of you. You're all me. I am you. We are the one. There is only one. And anyway, love y'all. Bye for now.